Speak here. Thank you. Thanks especially to Ignacy, and thank you everyone for being here for the last session of the day. I promise I will be short. So our topic today is how to bring BIM to the field, to people on the field, to everyone involved during the construction on the construction site. I'm Aurélien Ballard. I'm marketing director with FINALCAD. Our mission is to change the way we build with mobile apps for anyone involved in the field, including contractors, subcontractors, architects, and developers. If you think about it, we all have mobile apps today in our pockets, on smartphones, on tablets. We all use apps like Airbnb, Uber, Waze, such as this one. And the success of those apps is really massive. Why? Because there's massive adoption. All of us are using them. Why is there massive adoption? Because they are very well designed. They're very easy to use. With something like Waze, you just enter an address, and it will tell you at what time you will arrive. Now imagine you have a mobile app where you put your BIM model on it, and it will tell you when you will deliver the building. Wouldn't that be great, right? The problem with professional apps is that they are not as well designed and as user-friendly as the apps we use at home. Why is so? Why at work we shouldn't have the ability to have such beautifully designed apps as we have at home, right? So the whole question is how to bring BIM onto the field for anyone to use. If we don't want to have this digital divide between engineers and architects that are using BIM in the office for the design phase, and people on the field who actually build the building or the infrastructure, why should it be out of this digital transformation? But of course, BIM is complex, and bringing BIM to the field is not easy. So what I want to share with you today is a few rules that we've applied to ourselves to make sure that BIM can be used by anyone, and in a way that is so simple and can be used by anyone. So the whole question is how to bring this virtual model that has been designed to the field. Why is it interesting? Because to avoid this digital divide between the design and the construction, you might have a beautiful design in the BIM model in the design phase. If you go back to paper blueprints in the construction phase, it's almost everything lost. And then there's another divide between the construction phase and the facility management when there is no data of the asset. There's no history. The contractor, his only thing that he thinks about is his next project. And the facility manager has to find out where here is leaking, here is breaking, and there's no traceability, there's no history. So taking the advantage, the opportunity of the construction phase, which is in the middle, to track the changes is very key to have a consistent virtual twin, digital twin, if you prefer, all along the stages. So rule number one is we focus on the job. There's a lot of applications on the market for BIM on tablets or smartphones. The problem is that they bring the whole model. So it's great for architects because the architect knows his own baby, he knows how to play with the project and everything, but for people on the field, this is way too complicated. So what we do is we pre-filter, we pre-select elements of interest for a given phase, for a given stakeholder at a given time. So for instance, here for structural work, let's assume we have to do quality control on those pillars. We will select the pillars one by one for them to be able to do the quality control with the why questions, like is it compliant, is the implementation has been respected, the dimensions are okay, the material is okay, and so on. So the way we do that, we've developed plugins on Revit that will ultimately select all the objects and create the associated quality control or progress monitoring processes that can be used directly on the mobile app, and then that can generate data analytics and reports. Rule number two is to use metaphors. If we look at the way people are using paper blueprints today. A common way is to follow the progress. It's to use those Stabilo bus pens with red when it's not compliant, or green when it's done, or yellow when it's in progress. We did the same thing on a BIM model. So on a BIM model, you can follow the quality control, or you can follow the progress using the same metaphor as a Stabilo on the blueprint here, except that it's on the BIM model directly, and of course you can generate reports in the same way. And of course, all of this is sent back to the BIM model, back to the office, where the BIM manager can follow over time and reconcile as built with as design. Rule number 3 is to try every time we can to make it really, really simple. So I'll show you 3 examples. The first one is we've been using QR codes because in most buildings, especially housing or here it's a hospital, all the rooms or all the housing units are looking like each other. So it's really a pain to get sorted where you are. So here you just flash the QR code, and boom, you're instantly brought to the right blueprint or the right model. Another one we developed is we got inspiration from what you have on your smartphone. When you take pictures of people, it automatically recognizes the face of people. We did this, we used the same algorithm, this deep learning algorithm, to recognize objects of a building. The advantage is that it will do predictive analytics on what is the most frequent corrective action associated to that object. So for instance, here with a security block, it would be probably replace or change or fix it. So you have, you type in Google suggest, you have suggestions, and shows what are the most corrective actions. So really simplifying the work. And the last example is, instead of having the defects on a blueprint or a BIM model, we developed with Google Tango technology, which is an infrared technology, and Flux.io, we developed an app where you can directly see with augmented reality and put the defects that you're spotting directly within the app. So from there, I mean, you don't even need to know how to read a drawing or a BIM model. You just point where the defects are. So it's quite, it's really, I don't see what we could do more simple than that. So really bringing, and of course this goes back to the BIM model. So really make sure that this is as easy to use as it can be. Now the thing was, in theory, BIM is about design, construction phase, and facility management. The truth is that as of today, BIM is still most of the time stuck in the design phase. It struggles to go down to the construction phase and then forward. But this is changing. We did a survey between March 2016 and March 2017, and we found that actually that the adoption is coming. We asked people from especially contractors and subcontractors, are you using BIM during the construction phase? And you can see that the trend is moving up in terms of adoption, and of course the people who are not using it is going down. So it's really happening now. So are you ready to put boots on BIM? And as we say, we use Waze to drive today, and tomorrow we'll use FINALCAD to build. Thank you very much.